Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you guys are so very welcome indeed. One of you sent me this message, and I said to myself, let us discuss. I like responding to questions that you guys ask me in the comment section because it's my way of connecting, and I always feel that if you are asking me, it's because you really do want to have some kind of answer, some kind of response, and I am always here to respond to you guys as much as I possibly can. So one of you said to me, and I loved it because it resonated with me as well. It was the beautiful Winnie Boateng 5334. Hi, sugar. Mama Fumi with a big heart and a prayer. Please do a video of how to handle pressure of being single and how to handle situation of feeling left out with your married friends. I did not get married till I was 40. I met Ola when I was 39, and you can imagine, not only were all of my friends married, but they had had multiple children afterwards. And when I say that, at 39, most of my friends had to get married at 25. So 14 years in, just like Ola and I, they had had 3 children already. And it was very disheartening because it made me feel, and it magnified when I was with them, how much I had failed at a part of my life of which I had so desperately wanted. Fact. And I found myself running away, and making friends with younger girls that were single. That was my defense mechanism, because there would be only so much I could take in the Hamptons. I lived in New York, and so I would go out to visit my friends in the Hamptons, and I remember I used to say to myself, how do they have this big house? How are they able to have this fabulous life, and they have 3 children, and they have summer school, and they have summer camp, and the husband does this? I used to wonder, because I was single with my little flat. I love you. So I have a little treat for you. This is 34th Street, and I used to live here. I used to live at 320 East 34th Street. And do you see this blue camper right here? The building right in front of it. I'll show you. 34th Street, between 1st and 2nd, and it was a walk up to the 6th floor, and it was a 1-bedroom. That's all that I could even afford, and I paid cash to the landlord under the under the radar, because he said if I paid him 1,000 cash, it was good, and I said I can afford that. And I used to wonder, how did they have this life of in-laws? It was such a big part of what I wished for. And I was single, and everybody that asked me, what's your name? Fumi. I didn't even bother to give the last name, because I was like, who really cared? That's how I felt. And then I would go back to my little world. I'd be depressed, and then a girlfriend of mine would call me that was single, and we'll go partying all night, and I would feel good again. But with every year came with another wedding invitation, of which I was invited, and I had to put the smile. I'm the eldest of 3 children. My brother was the one that got married the first. Then my sister got married, and I said, oh my God. And how did I handle it? I handled it by running away. I just ran away from the situation. I just didn't see them that often. If I had to see them, it was church, or somebody had passed away, or it was yet another wedding. I just didn't hang out with my married friends. I didn't. On top of which, I realized, and I realize now in the married friends' defense, when you have a child, you don't have any time. your single friends think you're not being friendly, you don't want to hang out, you can't hang out because you are a caregiver to this wonderful, beautiful little human that can't take care of themselves, that have to go to nursery, that have to go to kindergarten. You have to do the school run. The school run is what? You get dressed, you run to school because you're always kind of sort of running late. And then you have to dash to work. And there are no excuses. You cannot say, I don't feel like going to work today. You've got bills to pay. You see, when you were single, when I was single, and I admit it now, I owed Susan. Susan was my landlady in America. If I was owing rent, I just go around the back, just take my car out and go. And then I would call her and say, Susan, I'm late. I know I'm late, but I'll make up for it. And she was forever understanding. I love you, Susan. If you're ever watching this episode, thank you for everything. I love you so very much. I miss you. I came to look for you in California in 2019, but you had left. And so your daughter sent me a message on Instagram, and I have searched and searched her handle, and I can't find it. But I wanted to say thank you. And when I was getting married to Ula, the last month's rent, Susan said, don't pay. Take it as a wedding gift. And I wish you all of the best. So I was lucky. But what I'm saying is that I was single. If I didn't eat, if I didn't have food in my house, I could deal with it, get little noodles and be done. When you're married and you have children, it's a different game. Those children have to be fed, they have to go to school, they have to have their bath time. We have a routine in this house. Maybe I just speak for myself. I have a routine, so it's very, 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 very difficult for me just to, on the whim, because I have to ask Ula, not that I'm asking Ula for permission, but I have to take into consideration what he's going to do, what the time factor is, because if I offload everything on him to go and play, he's the one that has to feed Adrian. He's the one that has to give Adrian his bath. He's the one that has to put Adrian to bed until I come back. So I have to be considerate. That's why if you see married couples and they're talking to each other or going through things, it's because they have to move tables around in order to spend time with their single girlfriends. It's not the same. Now, you also have married friends who are just married and they don't have children yet. And they're all lovey-dovey and they're kissy and they're going on holidays together and all of that. That is part of what you also want them to wish you the best in when it's your turn. The thing is that your turn hasn't come up yet. You have to find it somewhere in the space of your heart to wish them well and hope that they wish you just the same when it's your turn. Now, because I married so much later, by the time I was getting married, majority of them were divorced. And now that Ula and I have been married 15 years, which was 15 years after the fact of when my first girlfriend got married, so a total of what, 30. Remember, I'm 54. So most of my friends started getting married, especially if you are Nigerian, 23, 24, 25. I'm 54. So that would make what? 30 years. All of them are divorced. It's not a race. And just because they marry before you does not mean that they'll get better marriages. And just because they've married and you are not married does not mean that you will not get married. Do not look at anything. And I know that is so hard. I know that is so hard. And it was very, very, very hard for me, especially when I wanted Adrian. And Adrian hadn't come to me yet. Because I believe your children come to you. No matter how, no matter in what form, whether you have to adopt, whether you have to do surrogacy, whether you have to foster, whatever, whether you have to do IVF, your child comes to you. Your child chooses you. It chooses only you. I want you to remember that. And so your husband also comes to you. When you are very young, you know what, let me speak for myself because I've seen it in the comments. There are some of my sisters were the same age or a little bit older where they got married early, they've been married for 30, 40 years, they have their families and everything worked out copacetic. And then you have others that, like me, who I knew I wasn't ready to get married. I knew I wasn't going to get married until I kind of sort of hit at 30. Now looking back at my 30-year-old self, my 54-year-old self looking at my 30-year-old self, I wasn't ready because I did not know what marriage entailed. So while you are trying to handle being around your married friends, study them. Make it a class. Study how they are with their marriage. Study the relationship of the married couple. See whether that works for you. Write your little notes and say, oh, this could be fabulous. Yes, yes, yes. I think I love. I think I like. Or you can say, I don't think so. You can always tell. I had, all of my friends were married. And there were some couples that were so loving. And they were so sensitive to the fact that I was single. I loved that because it was really their husbands. Fumi, come with us. Fumi, join us. And they'll come and sit with me and we'll laugh and we talk. And they say, Fumi, I have a friend. He likes you. And those kind of couples I hung out with because they didn't make it obvious that we are married and you are not. It was very much, you're our friend, we love you, we miss our single life. Fumi, where have you been? You've been dancing all over the place, you've been out partying. Fumi, come and babysit, please, we love you. So that way you can babysit our kid and we can have you for company. I had friends like that. What I did was that I always, looking back, and it wasn't so vocalized then, I always protected my mental health. Because if I just did not feel good about a space, place, person, I was out. The place, the person, the space, I was out. Now when I look back, it was mental health. You distance yourself from people that make you feel even lonelier. Don't do it. Because I have single friends. I have single, wonderful, loving friends. I spoke to one of my single friends for over an hour this morning. I allocate that time for them because they cannot know what they don't know until they know it. And that speaks for me as well. There were my sister. Every single time. Everything Amazon. And I was like, okay, why don't you go out shopping? Why don't you buy, the clothes and feel them and the texture and how they wear on your body? And she would look at me. And she would smile. Like, you are so clueless, but you know what? I'll let you go with that till it's your turn. And I remember she would tell you, okay, why do you have dark circles underneath your eyes? I know now. So the thing is that it's not one-sided, because I'm absolutely positive that there are times when you have said or done things because you're single and you don't know what it is to be married with responsibilities of the children. Because the children, your life changes. Your life, you really want to be cute 24/7. I am cute like this, and I love this wig. It's the Julian wig. One of you, my Fumi Nation, I talked to her on Instagram now. She actually messaged me. I live for this Julian wig. I cut it and then I just flip it. And it's just more me. I really love it, and I love the color. I've lightened it up, and you guys said that it takes years off of me. So I'm just like, okay, I love. I have a monitor here, so that's what I'm looking at. And then the dress is an H&M dress from the collaboration with Lanvin, and I live for it. It's so gorgeous. Cute. So yeah, that's what I can tell you. If you are single, enjoy your freedom. Enjoy your late nights. Enjoy the quiet times in. Enjoy that you can eat your rice and meat without your cutlery and nobody's watching. That you can have a night in and watch all of your favorite episodes. I promise you, when you get married and have the kids, it's not going to be like that. I'll tell you, it's in stages. Because Ula and I, we were married solidly for about 9 years before Adrian came along. And so we had date night, and it was nice. It was very nice. And we traveled the world, from Dubai to Thailand to Moscow, Miami. Where didn't we go? We lived for it. Because he traveled for work a lot, and he took all the travel jobs because most of his colleagues that were married did not want to travel as much, because it meant that their wives and their children were home without them, and they love and miss them. But we did, and he would take me along because, you know, they paid for the hotel and everything. So when he went to work, I would just go venture out in the city, and it was fabulous. It was fabulous. I really traveled. I think we went to over 30 countries. So I lived for it. And of course, like I said, you know, we'd go out for lunch on the weekends, we'd go for breakfast, then we went for long walks. Ole is an athlete. He was a national swim champion for Norway. He won 500 medals, 200 gold. He loves sports, and he loves to walk after dinner. He just loves it. So we'll go out for dinner, and we'll go for long walks around the city of London or Oslo or Bergen or wherever we were, you know, and we'd have late nights, you know, 3 a.m. laughing, talking, making love, whatever, having a drink. He would have a drink, I would have a virgin. It was wonderful. And I think that I really love my life and what God has given me, because I had a long single life. I had a long married life before Adrian came. And I think that's why I'm such a good mother, because I'm so patient and I've done it all. I've been there, you know, like my mother would say, I don't buy, I don't sell, I do wait for me change. I have bought and I have sold. I'm waiting for my change. I've done it all. And so I like and I love, appreciate the stage that I am in now. It will be a matter of 10 years. Adrian will be a teenager, have his own friends. He won't run to mommy as much. Enjoy and embrace every stage of your life. Enjoy the single life. I know that you crave to be married. I did too. And it came much later. I craved to be a mother. And I did too. It came much later. I think what I'm trying to say is embrace every stage that you are in, because you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be anywhere else. I promise you. Don't feel envious. Don't feel jealous. Don't feel worthless, useless, or a failure because you haven't gotten married and majority of your friends have gotten married. It turns out that I was the last, or that was how I perceived it to be, or it was perceived to me. And I ended up leading the pack. I ended up having a career in my 50s. Really. I have a wonderful husband. I have a wonderful child. All my dreams came true in my 50s, when a lot of my friends are grandmothers. And I hope that I become a grandmother someday too. But they're grandmothers, and they speak to me and say, Fumi, I don't have any career. It never really blossomed, bloomed, or became anything. And I said, but it still can. You can still do it. You can be the most amazing, fabulous grandmother. Go back to the grind and start again. And I promise you, this position that you're in will be the last time you'll be in that position. You can do it again. And I say that for those who want to reinvent themselves, because it happened to me. Because I really did have the belief. I really did have the belief. I believed in myself. You're good enough. You're worth it. Yes, 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 yes. And it will come to you. And you open up your mind. That was another thing. Open up your mind to the world. And the world opened up to me. And I found myself, as a matter of fact, and I've said it before, this is the happiest I have ever been in my entire life. This is the happiest I have been. And I think that I am the most beautiful because this is the most happy I have been. So embrace your married friends. Reject the ones that want to shove it in your face and show off, and learn from them. watch them, observe them. Also get single friends and you guys hang out and you have fun. And while you're looking for that wonderful man to share this life with, this world, because it can spiral you out into the unexpected, at the most unexpected, make sure that you have your career, that you have your monies sorted out, you have your savings. I promise you, you're going to use them. Make sure that you also bring something to the table, that you are not just sitting there waiting for a man to marry you, to feed you, to clothe you, to do everything for you. He will get tired of you. I promise you. Nobody does that endlessly and says, ah, yes, you know what, just stay, look pretty, and just do nothing. No. You get yourself ready and prepared. When I was really dead serious, I said, Fumi, you know what, come and start paying off your credit cards. I paid off every single one, including my car. I was 100% debt free. I met Ula 3 months later. That was why it was so easy for me to leave my entire world in California, to leave my flat, to leave my car, which I was able to sell intacto. I got it through servicing. I changed the windows, the chairs, all of that and everything in the car. I made sure that it was serviced, it was up to date. There was a girl, and we became friends on Facebook. She had the same car. It was a Honda CR-V. And hers had been totaled. And she just loved that car. And she couldn't find it anywhere until she found mine. And I sold that car for $12,000. That $12,000 was what I took with me when I went to Norway, where I had no friends, I did not speak the language, and I didn't have a job. I had about $15,000 because I sold all the other stuff. I did not have any debt whatsoever. I gave away the rest, and then some of my designer pieces, which I regret now, I don't know why, I sold them on Robertson Boulevard because they used to have a place where you could sell designer pieces, and I sold them there. I prepared myself. True to form, he came. I had just become an American citizen 6 months prior, so I could leave. I said, Fumi, don't worry about it. You can come back to America anytime. You're good. And my being an American is what I passed on to my wonderful son. So that any opportunity that he gets when he's older, he can go ahead and take it. Prepare yourself for the marriage of which you want, because he will show up. What you don't want is for him to show up and you're not prepared. Exercise. Look sexy as hell. You're advertising, baby. You gotta look cute, sis, because you're on the market shelf with these other girls. The competition is stiff. Make sure you look fire. Make sure you look fire. Yep, some people will be intimidated. I had a girlfriend. I won't say her name. We were supposed to come to America. I was living in England. I was in uni at the time. She said, Fumi, you can't come. We had planned the holiday and we were to stay with her uncle and auntie. And she said, Fumi, you can't come because my auntie will be very intimidated by you and she don't trust her man. You can't come. It broke my heart because I wanted to come to America. It was the first time I was coming to America. And I said, Fumi, you will continue to look like fire. You will continue to look hot. It doesn't matter if other people are intimidated by you. Continue to look fabulous, because you know what? You are everything. You're promoting yourself. And you're smart, you're witty, you're funny, you're all of these things. Don't let it hold you back that you're not married. The guy is coming. You know why? Because you're so special. You're so beautiful. You're so adorable. All these unique qualities. We have to find a match for you. And it's going to take a little bit more time. And like I said, Ula and I are 15 years in. And majority, no, all of my friends are divorced. There you go. True story. Alright, my darlings, do not forget to like, to subscribe. Let's hit 1 million, guys. Come on. YouTube called me. Do you know I have foot traffic of 3 million views every month? 3 million. That means that this 662 is not even a third of you guys looking in. Yeah, subscribe, hit the subscription button, and let's get this thing on and popping. All of my love, my darlings. I'll see you I'll see you sooner than later. And don't forget to ask me everything and anything in the comment section. I try to like and comment as much as I can, but I promise you, nighttime when Adrian is sleeping, I read them. I read the funny ones, I read the scolding ones. Yes, some of you scold me. I'm like, oh my God. But I take it all in. All of my love, all of my love, all of my love. I celebrate my married ones, I celebrate my single ones, I celebrate every stage that you are in, because I was there. And I want you to celebrate every stage that you are in. I promise you, you're going to look back and you're going to say, I wish I knew I would have celebrated louder and longer. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. And you're doing a good job. All of my moms, you're doing a good job. All of my single moms, you're doing oh my God, you're incredible. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you all. Bye.